Hey, it's Steven here from Leadjetty.com. In this video, I wanted to walk you through a few new features that we've worked on, as well as just kind of do a little work session to communicate some of the ideas that we're working on in enabling you to do, the types of things that you'll be able to do. So this will be probably a little bit of a longer video. If you got some time and you want to kind of hear how we're thinking about some things, this will be a great place to see that. I'll also break out some of the concepts into some shorter how-to videos as well once this is done. All right, so to kick things off, I want to take a look at a flow that I set up. I think it might have been in work session 1. So we kind of paused ads on this a little while back once we got some experimental data. But I want to kind of explain what we're looking at here a little bit. So a couple of things. So first of all, just from a statistical perspective, so it's interesting to see that. So we have a 20% conversion rate, 21% on our first step here. Step 2 has a 93%. And what's interesting is you can actually see down here that the denominator at the top is 66, and down here it's 60. Down here it's 66. So what we found out is happening is that some people kind of, as they're going through, like they'll click on an answer and they'll go back and click on another answer, so you end up with more answers than you have actual submissions, or unique submissions, I guess. So that's something that we're going to be obviously trying to figure out exactly what to display there. But for now, I think it's fine. Anyway, so the main thing is that the majority of people are in these top 2 categories for us. And so these are people that we found out aren't really our target market. And so what we decided to do is the people on the bottom, these are people who could potentially hire us. You know, they're either outright expressing that they plan to hire somebody, or they're saying they have a team, in which case they're already paying people. So in both cases, there's a chance for us to find a way to collaborate with them or work with them as a service provider or something like that, potentially. So we want to kick these people into more of like a sales pipeline. But the people at the top, which make up basically 83% of the people, we kind of, we talked to these people initially because we didn't have this filter. And these 2 categories of people they're never going to hire us. So what we decided to do is see, okay, can we sell these guys something else? So let's look at that. So actually the best way to see that, well, this is probably the best way to see that. So we categorized the people who want to learn to code, or if we look back at our answers here, I'll try to do it myself. So basically what we're offering as our lead magnet is a free code base that's sort of a SaaS starter kit, SaaS in a box, which is software as a service. So it's basically just a blank project with a bunch of sort of essential features already in place. So it does make things a lot faster if you want to launch a software product. So we're offering that for free, and 68% of people are clicking on this. Now, we categorize these people as aspiring developers, which may not be accurate. It's really just people who are saying, I'm going to try to do it myself. The reason we said aspiring developer is because the second answer is, I'm a developer. So we're kind of saying, like, if you're saying I'm going to try to do it myself, it means you may not actually have the skills yet. And so what we're doing is we're saying, okay, aspiring developer, let's look at this. So 68% of people, so let's look at the numbers here. One thing we're going to be working on, and we haven't quite figured out yet, is how to visualize these branches better, because essentially that's what this is, a branch off of the main flow. So that being said, I apologize for bouncing back and forth so much. It's just there's not a perfect way yet to see all of this in one place. So let's look back here, because I think I said some numbers incorrectly. So we have this, I will try to do it myself, which is saying 39 out of 66. So we would expect 39 people to go into that other branch. So the learn to code thing here. So we have 41. In all likelihood, this bottom number is a little bit off just because of early testing that we were doing. So just directly going to the page, on our own to see what it looks like. And the reason that would make a difference is because the other flow is it's people who are redirected here from that flow. So that's saying 39 people came here. So I probably looked at it on a couple of devices or something, and that gave us 2 extra views. Anyway, this is still interesting. So this is telling us that 68% of the people who were redirected here, and in actual fact, because of the denominator being a little bit messed up, it's in the 70s. So 70 something percent of people are continuing. So let's look at the steps so we can even see what that means. So what that essentially is just a promo page for this Treehouse thing. And so Treehouse is basically a Learn to Code website, which we are an affiliate with. And so you can click on this link, and actually not even click on the link. If we look up here, the button says try Treehouse for free. So whenever you click the button, there's just the text and then the one button on the page, you end up seeing or being redirected to Treehouse. So that's not bad to have 70% of the people going, through essentially. Now, what we found out is that basically nobody took that affiliate deal. So that's a problem. So that, could be indicative of a number of things. So let's keep going and look at just the other option here. So we also have 24% of people are going through this I'm a developer thing. So 16. And again, these numbers are all small, so we don't really have statistical significance on anything necessarily, but we had a little bit more interesting results on the developer side of things. So, for example, if we click in on this, so we're seeing 17 out of 17 people clicked something, which is kind of crazy. I did not notice that the last time I looked at this. So let's look here. So we had 16 people click on the I'm a developer answer. And then down in here, so that's telling me at least probably one of these is me testing, and I clicked on stuff just to make sure it's all working. And then in here we see a breakdown, and these are all redirecting somewhere else. So there is no step 2 in this flow. It's just basically a fork in the river, so to speak. So you go one of 3 directions. So what's happening is these guys said, I'm a developer. So we're asking, other than development, what are you the most focused on, or something like that? And then it's just buttons and finding a product idea, creating a design, whatever. So if we go back, we can see where the people went. So 60% of people went in the design direction, and then it's kind of split amongst the other two. And let's see, that adds up to more than 100%, obviously. It's like 130%. So that's telling you that, at least a couple of these people clicked back. Once they saw how the system worked, they clicked the back button and said, oh, what happens if I click on another option? But in general, people are flowing through here. So if we let's just look at this design one, for example. So we'll look at the steps here. So essentially what we're doing is we're trying to figure out how can we sell something else to these people, right? So they're not going to hire us, most likely. So we're trying to just monetize that traffic a little bit. And what we found out is actually, we made a couple of sales on Amazon, which amounts to not very much money, but it's over 10% of people who came through here actually bought something. So obviously we're talking about a total of something like 16 clicks, it looks like. So, not a, well, I don't know, maybe it was 20%. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. But, really, we're talking about 11 people clicked over to Amazon, and we sold a couple of books. So, that's an interesting result. So what we want to do is actually sort of re-architect this experiment a little bit and see if we can figure out how to increase that. And so ultimately what we want to do is see, okay, how can we send more people through to affiliate offers, and then what's getting purchased the most? And then our plan is to create our own ebook. So right now, if somebody goes over to Amazon and they buy something, that makes us like 50 cents or 70 cents or something like that, depending on the price, obviously. But it's a small little affiliate thing, so it's not really all that significant. But if we put a $50 product right there that we own, we have less steps in the conversion process, first of all, so you'll be able to buy it directly from the page that we're presenting to you. And then, you know, if we earn 50 bucks from that, that means that our funnel actually has a chance to be profitable. Also, while I'm sitting on this page, I just realized I've been explaining something incorrectly. So these are not the percentages of people who went to that page. That's the conversion rate on that page. So again, like, I think figuring out the right way to visualize this is important. If we look at this, we can see the breakdown of people who went through. Now you can see here that you have a total of 30 answers given, which does mean, so you have basically, on average, people looked at 2 things. So that's kind of interesting in and of itself. Because if you only had, call it 16 people who came through, assuming one of those is me, and then you have 30 answers given, that just means that people were clicking back and then trying the other ones. Now, it could have been one person who tried a whole bunch of stuff, but still. So let's go ahead and go on to the main point of this video, which is setting up our new experiment. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open this in a new tab so that we have it available for us to do some copying. So what are we going to call this? I'm going to call this, I need to come up with better naming conventions, and I haven't really thought about it yet, but let's call this SaaS Kit download Facebook ads. So I'm indicating the source where I'm actually sending traffic from. So we'll call that 0002. This is Central Standard Tech is the property that's associated with it. There is no parent. Let's look at, sorry, this is why I kept this open in another tab. Just going to get my Facebook Pixel ID right here. I'll add the Google Analytics later. We need to actually set that up so we see that traffic. Let's see. So we'll create this. So now this is down here at the bottom. And then let's go ahead and just create a new variant. I'm just going to call this one A. And now let's build out our first steps here. So our first 2 steps in the other flow worked about as good as you would expect. I mean, so let's look at those and just copy them essentially. So we have an image here. I'm going to just going to go ahead and select all of this, copy it, and set it up over here. So we'll add a step. I'm going to add a paragraph element, and let's see if I can just like that is what I want. Okay, so we'll save that. I need to add an image element, and I'll just need to pick one from my computer, see if I can figure out which one that was. Easier said than done. I'm going to jump off of the screen recording and go track down this image. It's on my list today to actually clean up my desktop a little bit, because right now, as you can see, there's just a ton of crap on it. Alright, so I think I finally found the right thing here, so we're going to go choose image 0.5, and we're going to leave the width and height blank because we want it to just be a full width image. And we'll see what this looks like now. Okay, we're going to move that up to the top, and then we'll add a first name, and we'll add an email. One other thing I'm going to do really quick while I'm here is go ahead and add a variable name for this. So let's update that, and let's add a variable name for this. Okay, perfect. Let's see, what else do we want to do here? What do we do in the other one? I think we just add people to ConvertKit. So we're going to add people to, what do I have hooked up? Just that, okay. add email subscriber to convert kit. I want to go into my SaaS kit form, and we want to do it with everybody, so we'll just skip the conditions. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and set the rest of the steps. So on step 2, we've got a question: how do you plan to build your SaaS product? And then we're triggering a Facebook lead event, and then we have a bunch of conditions. So let's go ahead and get this going. So add a step here, see if we can do it kind of quick. So we need to do multiple choice buttons. The question is going to be, how do you, I'm just going to get my previously entered one, and the variable name, do we need a variable name for this? We'll leave that alone. I don't think we need to add a variable for this one right now. Possible answers are, I will try to do it myself. And you can just click comma and it'll add that like that. I'll try to do it myself. I am a developer. What else? So I plan to hire someone and my team will do it. Once you've got all those, click Update Element, and we should see all the options appear. Facebook, we want to put the lead event, and we don't really know how much our leads are worth here, so I'm just putting $10 as a guesstimate. Okay. Okay, so let's look at this. If we go back over here, we're doing a bunch of redirects depending on what you pick, and then we're tagging people depending on what you pick. So I can go ahead and set up the tags. And I'm gonna leave the, you know what, actually I don't think I'm gonna set up tags here right now. I think I'm gonna tag people based on choices at the next layer. So let's go ahead and set up our redirects, and in order to do that, we now have this redirect to another flow action that you can use. So instead of going ahead and doing it here, what I need to do is actually set up some sub flows here. So I'm going to let's see, I'm going to go ahead and create the flows, and I'm going to title them differently than I did last time, because instead of trying to name these guys after personas, which we're not totally clear about, I'm going to name them based on the answer. So I'm going to call it, I will try to do it myself, property, Central Standard Tech, the parent is this 002, and I need to go back and get my pixel again. So let's go ahead and just go to the edit here. Okay, we're going to pixel that, create this flow. Okay, so now we have a sub flow under our thing down here, so let's add another one, same deal. So I'll try to do it myself. That one's going to redirect. I am a developer. Central Standard Tech, parent is the 002, Facebook pixel, still copied. Okay, and we're just going to do one more here. So we're going to look at, what are we going to call it? My team will do it. Central Standard Tech, 002, and just going to paste again. Okay, so now we have 3 subflows or branches down here. I'm going to go ahead and click on this again, view the steps, and this is going to be kind of obvious why we did it this way now. So we're learning how to use our own system better as we go. So redirect to another flow. And what this does, this pulls in all the other top level flows, and then it pulls in the subflows. So you can ignore the top level stuff. So we're going to do, I'll try to do it myself. Next. And now we also have access to previous elements on the previous steps. So in the past it would have just been this first one. but how do you plan to build your SaaS product is equal to, and you know, we're redirecting to I will try to do it myself. So we're just going to choose I will try to do it myself. Okay, so this reads much better than it used to. So if how do you plan blah 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 is equal to I'll try to do it myself, redirect to I will try to do it myself. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to quickly just set up the other two actions really quick here. So redirect to another flow, next. I'm going to go I'm a developer, next. The element, how do you plan to build your SaaS product is equal to I'm a developer, boom. Okay, so let's just double check it. I'm a big double checker. Okay, reads properly, so redirect to another flow. My team will do it. Next, how do you plan to build your SaaS product is equal to my team will do it. So that's much faster than it used to be. Used to, you'd have to go find URLs and all this kind of stuff. Now it's just click and you're done. Okay, cool. So let's go back. Let's look at what our step 3 was before. And actually, I may move some of this offline because I'm going to have to do some thinking on the copy and stuff. I think that our step 3, first of all, we didn't get a lot of people, but second, maybe it's not done well. But I'll go ahead and just copy the existing content for now. So basically what we're doing here is, submit the thing. Actually, I am going to go ahead and set this up because I want to demonstrate a couple of new features here. So set this up. We're going to get the phone number, and then instead we went to a thank you page, which I really hate thank you pages as a concept. I think you should always be, in general, trying to push people toward taking more action if you can. So instead of going to a thank you page, we're going to send them to our Calendly. And on our Calendly, they'll be able to go ahead and pick a time to talk to us. So, and that way I can know exactly when I should give them a phone call. So let's go ahead and do that. So I copied the text there, so we'll just add another step. So again, we've redirected everybody out except for the I plan to hire someone people. So that's really, in our hypothesis, that's really our hot leads right here. So they're sort of self-indicating that they may be qualified to hire somebody. We don't know about their financial capacity or anything like that here, but we at least know about their intent. So let's go paragraph rich text. Just going to paste in what I just copied. And we're going to add a phone number. And then let's go ahead and add a new action. So let me go track down my Calendly link really quick. So I'm over here on this Calendly help page, and they're showing you how you can customize your events. And I'm looking specifically at how to pre-populate fields on the scheduling page. So if we look down here, you can see an example of a URL. Actually, it's right here. So you put like question mark, and then you put variable name equals blah, blah, blah. And then you can see down here a list of all the variable names you have access to. So let's go ahead and just try this. So question mark, name, okay. So what I'm gonna do, so I copied my link. So after they submit this, so I've got their phone number, which is really critical for me because I just want to give them a phone call, but I want to know what time to call them. So that's where the Calendly comes in. So I'm going to redirect to another URL. I'm going to paste my URL here, and I'm going to do what they said. So question mark, and then one of the things you can pass in is first name, first underscore name, equals, and then I'm going to do bracket, 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 and then in there I'm going to do first underscore name, because that's what I called my variable, and then I'm going to do ampersand email equals curly bracket, curly bracket. So it's double curly brackets and then email. So let's save this, and I'm going to do that to everybody. So let's just take a look at our redirection URL down here. So, and then let's compare that to the one And I'm gonna go through this so you see how it works. But let's just compare here. So question mark name equals and email equals. And if you want to do more with Calendly specifically, you can read through this page. I'm going to make a separate video about this in case you need to come back and review that later. Okay, cool. So I'm actually going to do one thing really quick. I just did a quick look, and it seems like if you do the first name, you also need to send the last name. And I don't really care about having people's full name, so I'm just going to re-add that back and say redirect to another URL. And I'm going to come in here, and instead of first name equals, I'm going to say name equals, and that'll pre-populate that name field on my particular calendar with their first name, and that's fine. Like, we don't need to know everything. We're going to call and say hi Bob anyway, so it doesn't matter. And skip the condition, and there we go. Okay, so that's basically it for this flow. So let's see. So how long have I been going? Probably like 30 minutes now by now. Let's look at just setting up maybe one of these subflows, and I'll do the rest offline. I do, however, want to actually try this really quick and make sure that it's working. So I'm just going to turn that on, and let's view live. So that should open in a new tab here. Okay, so we got our limited time only, blah blah, and we'll call this Jeff, and then I'm going to make up an email, jeff@cst.work. So that's our domain for our business there. So we'll click next. How do you plan to build your SaaS product? So the three over here aren't, the top two and the bottom one aren't hooked up yet to the flows. So I'm going to go, I plan to hire someone, which should kick me into this area. And now we're prompting them about our business. I feel like maybe I need to add a logo here. That would be helpful potentially. So I'm going to add just a fake phone number. And next, and let's look at where we end up. So you can see here in the URL, we have name equals Jeff and email equals the jeff@cst.work, so that's encoded there for the URL. Let's see, let's go to visit next month. Let's try to book a time. And you can see here we have Jeff and jeff@cst.work, so that works great. Okay, so let's go ahead and back out of all of that. Okay, and I want to go ahead and work out the I will try to do it myself level, and then that'll be it, and I'll set up everything else offline. So this video doesn't just get completely crazy with how long it is. So I'll try to do it myself, new variant, let's just call it A. And I'm gonna create just a single step here. And what we're gonna do is say, give me a paragraph element. And then I'm gonna say something like, so what we just asked them is like, how do you plan on building your SaaS product? They answer the question and they say, I'll try to do it myself. So what we want to basically do is sort of make it feel kind of conversational. And the other thing I'm doing here is, instead of just sending them straight into a funnel for trying to get them to become or do an affiliate offer, what we're going to do is sort of add another layer here to see. We kind of made the assumption last time that they want to learn to code, but that might not be it. So that's what this question is for. So we're going to say, great. We'd love to help point you in the right direction. And let's see, I pre-wrote a little bit of copy for this, and then maybe actually that's fine like that. Make that bold, and make all of this formats, just make it 14 pixels so it's a little bit bigger. So great, we'd love to help you point you in the right direction. And then we're going to add a multiple choice button here, and we'll call this or we'll ask the question, what are you most focused on learning right now? What are you the most focused learning on right now? Okay, so then what we're going to do is say how to write code, how to get customers, how to raise money, and we're going to put an option at the bottom which is just getting started. Okay, so for each one of these, we're going to create other subflows which lead to, different offers. So I'm probably going to go ahead and end the video here, but you've seen enough by now to know how this works. So for example, just really quick, I'll show you a couple more quick steps here. So now we need to, well, let's actually look at this one more time, sorry. So how to write code, how to get customers, how to raise money, just getting started. So what I'm going to end up doing here is creating new flows, and I'm going to call this one like how to write code. It's Central Standard Tech. The parent here is I will try to do it myself, and the Facebook pixel I believe is that one. Let me double check over here. That's another thing I got to get better, or we got to make better, is the user experience around keeping track of your pixels. But yes, it's the 191. Okay, so now if we look here, we have kind of another level down. You can see the same pattern up here. Again, we're definitely going to be working on the visualization of all of this. I mean, it's not bad right now, but this is our first sort of iteration on this. So what this is going to look like in the end is you're going to have this parent, and you're going to have 4 options under I will try to do it myself. You're going to have 4 options under I'm a developer, and you have, I don't really know exactly what we're going to do with the my team will do it yet. Okay, so it took me a little while, but I went ahead and finished building this out. So you can see what I was just saying here. So this is our parent, and then under that we have 3 options that we're redirecting. I will try to do it myself, which has several options. I'm a developer, and then my team will do it. So I just want to quickly show you what this looks like in the end. So so we've already looked at the top level thing, or maybe we didn't, so let's just look at it here. That opened, let me close some stuff here. Okay, so let's do that again. Sorry about that. So view live, so it's going to open a new tab. It's going to show me first name, email, so we already looked at that flow if we go through it normally. So let's just kind of crack open these subflows directly. So if we open up that, what did I click on? So I'll try to do it myself. Okay, so you click the answer, I will try to do it myself, and we kick you over here and we say, great, we'd love to help point you in the right direction. What are you the most focused on learning right now? So while we're here, I'm just going to point out one of my next things. So we're going to go live with this product next week. Right now we're still kind of pre-release, and even next week is sort of going to be a soft launch. It's kind of an early version. So, but one of the things I'm going to do is work on tightening up this design a little bit, because there's some things about this that bother me. But that said, let's just check out the functionality. So we've answered that, we are going to do it ourselves. So what are you focused on learning right now? How to write code, bang. And then we take you straight into pitching you Treehouse. If you say how to get customers, we're going to give you a book recommendation. And if you go there, let's click on check it out on Amazon. So this is taking you into an affiliate kind of deal, right? So anyway, so that's kind of how that functions for the rest of those. The I'm a developer is a similar kind of thing. So we're going to essentially present you a similar kind of deal. The messaging is tailored a little bit differently, but ultimately it's kind of the same thing. And we can look at this and see what this looks like deep down. So I'm a developer. It's got breakdowns on the answers here, and as you can see, there's 4 possible answers, and I've clicked on them all. And this is what I was highlighting earlier in terms of our stats. So it's just me, but it's reporting 4 answers right now. which is accurate. I just have to figure out a better way to show it so that it's less confusing. Um, excuse me. So finally, I just wanted to look at this "my team will do it" answer. Um, see if there's any other interesting stuff in here just really quick. So if we look at the steps here, so essentially this is what they all look like. There's a logo or a picture of a book, a message, and then a redirect URL. Okay, so enough of all of that. Let's look at this "my team will do it." So the "my team will do it" has 2 steps. And I wanted to showcase something else here that we didn't discuss yet, which is using variables inside of text. So we have one multiple choice here, other than development, what do you focus on right now, which looks kind of similar to the others. But again, this is a team. So we're assuming if you have a team already, you're actively working through the project or a project of some kind. And we're, well, I misspelled the word customers right there. Let me fix that. So if I get rid of that, it'll be getting more customers. So you're working on getting initial traction, getting more customers, project management, or finishing the product. Good thing I came back and checked that because that doesn't read well. Okay, so then if you look at this next step, we're saying, okay, great. Would you like help with current focus, pipe operator, down case? So this is pretty cool. So what I did is I created a variable over here called current focus. And then here, what's going to happen is, see, these all start with a capital G. And over here, we're printing out whatever they selected, and then we're just lowercasing everything. So if you're curious about that, Shopify has something called liquid templates, which we are also using here. And you can use all of this code type functions and stuff here. So I won't go through all of that. We'll do some maybe in-depth tutorials once we stabilize this feature a little bit further and test it a little bit more. But ultimately, you can do all the stuff that you can do in Liquid in your text. So you can personalize this quite a bit. So let's actually see this in real life function, just so you get the idea. View live. So you've gone through the thing, you've said your team is going to do it. We're saying, other than development, what are you currently focused on right now? So if I say getting initial traction. So, okay, great. Would you like help getting initial traction? So that's pretty nice, actually, I think. Like I said, we will test all of this and we will see what happens. I think I have a few more small things to do just to kind of finish this. Going through this process, I have a ton of ideas for how to improve the design and the user experience. So this will probably change a bit and become a little bit more friendly on the eyes in terms of the way that it's laid out. But if you have any ideas, please email me at Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, at cst.work. And I love to hear from you, or just throw a comment down on the YouTubes. That's fine also. But yeah, if you like this video, or this type of video rather, please leave a comment letting me know, and I'll keep making more of them. I'm going to break out a lot of smaller videos from this because there's a lot of new little features here and there, and I want to make sure that we document that somewhere. But anyway, that's it for this video. So go ahead and please subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you next time.